Welcome to Stone Watch. This is my open spoiler discussion for Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi Parts 1 through 3. And if you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button and click on that bell so you can notify for future videos. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And yes, after watching the third episode of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show over on Disney Plus, I gotta say this thing is just so damn awesome. Now, let me start off by saying I wanted to do a separate video for parts 1 and 2 for this show, which dropped last week during the Star Wars Celebration. I had a great time out there, but by the time I got back to the hotel after being at Celebration all day, I didn't want to be rude and be too loud with all the other people staying at the hotel, you know? I mean, because like the walls were kind of like paper thin, things that you hear at a hotel, you know what I'm saying? But overall, I want to say I like this show a lot. I mean, I like all the characters that are in this. I mean, all the characters that's in this show I kind of find pretty interesting. And I thought it was pretty neat when young Leia was running through the forest and stuff like that, and she runs into none other than, I don't remember what his character name was, but she runs into Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Hello, Princess.
Why are you here?
Just waiting
For what?
for you.
Now that kind of took me out of the show for just like a second, you know what I mean? Because I saw him and going, hey, that's, you know, he's an okay actor. I've seen him in other projects and what have you over the years, and he's all right. He's definitely not going to get an Emmy or an Oscar or anything, but, you know, he did the character he pretty much played the character and how it would be. I mean, after my initial shock of him coming on screen, I mean, I bought him as a low-level bounty hunter, you know what I mean? And you know, especially if you've seen some of the low-level bounty hunters that we saw in The Mandalorian, I mean, I could buy it. I could see him as a, you know, so like I said, he was okay. Now, I want to give credit to Vivian Laura Blair, who's playing the young Princess Leia in this show. I mean, she's doing a phenomenal job. I mean, I can definitely buy her as a young Princess Leia. She's like playing the part so damn well. Now, I've seen some people online complaining about her performance and like the chase scene and through the forest, whatever. I mean, yeah, it was a little cheesy, a little bit. I mean, just a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, this is kind of supposed to be like a kid show too, right? So just calm down, people. I mean, plus I think she's doing an awesome job. I mean, she's in this show a lot more than I thought she would be, because like there was rumors that they were going to have a young Leia and a young Luke in this show, but then I also thought I heard that they were going to do that, but then they changed their minds on it because there was like the casting call for the kids, but then we didn't really hear too much after that. But now she's in this a lot more, and I have to say, when we were watching this for the first time, I was like, that's it. We were always wondering what was it going to take to get Obi-Wan to leave Tatooine. And it makes all the much sense. If anything was going to get him to leave, it was going to be for her, right? I mean, because she is Luke's sister and everything, so he does have some kind of responsibility to take care of her too. And I think that the dynamic between him and her, like through these 3 episodes so far, has been pretty damn awesome. And like the conversations that they're having, and at one point when he's like when he says that when he tells her that she reminds him of somebody, and she said something, and he was mainly talking about Padme, but I was sitting there watching it like the second time and going, you know what is he? Could he be talking about Satine, which from Clone Wars and everything?
Remember, my dear Obi-Wan. I've loved you always. I always will.
I know, again, he was talking about Padme when he said that, but I go, could he be talking about her too? Maybe just a little bit, like just for you, like the canon junkies that are out there going, hey, I watched that show, like, you know. But most likely he was talking about Padme, right? Because that's her mom. So, I mean, but again, I think she's doing a phenomenal job, and I also think that Moses Ingram is doing an awesome job. Now, I have to admit, I'm on the fence on how I feel about her character, but that's only because the story that they're using and what have you. I'm not saying I don't like any of it. I'm just saying I'm very interested in it because we first see her in that Order 66 flashback, which everybody thinks that she's one of the kids in that group, and I think we're going to find out more about that later on. I think we're also going to see another flashback next week, you know, because she's got Leia now.
Come closer.
Are you the one I'm supposed to meet?
Unfortunately, they couldn't make it, but I'll take you from here.
Right? So she's going to like there's going to be some kind of conversation. She's going to be looking back, and somehow that's going to come up. And I think we're going to get a flashback of that time. And I think that's how we're going to also find out how she knows that Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader, because that's not common knowledge, right? So I'm kind of curious how she knows that. Maybe she saw him in the temple when they were running through there in Order 66. Maybe she saw him there because he was there, and maybe one of the troopers called him Lord Vader, right? Maybe. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. And at the end of episode 2, when Reva stabs the Grand Inquisitor, I was like, oh my God. Now at first I'm going, how is that? No, he can't be dead, because he doesn't die until actually the first season of Star Wars Rebels, right? So, and they're not going to break canon, right? I mean, Dave Filoni didn't direct this show, but he's one of the executive producers and stuff like that, and he's not going to retcon his own stuff. It's just not going to happen. So I wonder when we're going to actually see him again in this show. And we only had 3 more episodes left to go. I mean, that's like the only thing that's bad about like them dropping 2 episodes at once, and then we get the 3rd episode like, a few days later. We're already halfway through this series. And I guess I've been digging what I've seen so far. I mean, I can only imagine what the second half of this thing is going to be. Now we know that neither Obi-Wan or Vader dies now, right? So we know that's not going to happen. But man, the things that Vader was doing to Obi-Wan in this last episode was just, oh my God, it was like straight out of a horror film, right? At least that's kind of what it felt like. It felt more brutal than what he did in Rogue One, because in Rogue One, there was nowhere for them to go, right? In this one, he was pretty much like he was hunting Obi-Wan, right? And if it wasn't for the Game of Thrones chick showing up and shooting up the place or whatever. But then I heard people complain that, why didn't Vader just grab him and just yank him through the fire? And I kind of wonder why is that too. But then I also saw some people are sitting there saying that, well, maybe, that was Vader's way of like making him suffer, because he did say,
your pain has begun.
So he's just going to make it hurt, right? And maybe he just figured out, I'll catch up with you later or something like that. I'm not really sure. I mean, these 3 episodes were just so damn awesome, and there was like so much in it. Now, we meet Camille Nanjiani's character in the 2nd episode. I didn't really think anything of it.
This is a Jedi mind trick. Do not be alarmed. I am inside your mind.
When he was helping out the woman and the young boy to get away from the Imperials and what have you, I didn't really think anything of it because they didn't really say their names during the show itself. But while talking to author Michael Stackpole of the Rogue Squadron X-Wing books, which I love so much, man, and after talking to him on Twitter, found out that these 2 are supposed to be Naichi and Karan. Now, there's no last name listed with these characters, but everybody's saying that, this is Karan Horn. Now, I don't remember what Karan Horn's mom's name was from the novels. If I remember correctly, I don't even remember him being with his dad at one point, and I don't remember him actually being with his mom, or actually his mom, her being even mentioned. But if this is supposed to be Karan Horn from the Rogue Squadron novels, I think that's pretty damn cool. But it also kind of retcons his story a little bit, right? Again, because I think I don't remember them mentioning his mom in them novels, or maybe it was in the iJedi book. It's been a long time since I read it one. Sorry, man. But I think it was pretty cool if that's actually who that's supposed to be, and it's in line because he's roughly around the same age as Luke. So I think that's pretty damn cool. If you didn't know who that character was, you wouldn't really know. And again, they didn't say the name on screen, so you can't, it's not like you would know, right? But it might have been the subtitles and I just missed it, so I'll have to go back and check that out again. But I thought that was pretty cool that they actually threw that in there. Now we got to talk about the clone trooper that shows up in episode 2 and talks to Obi-Wan and asks for money.
Help a veteran get a warm meal.
A lot of people online were speculating that this could be Rex, and I don't think so whatsoever. Now, because it's Tamara Morrison and he is a clone, it looks like it could be Rex, but we saw Rex not too long ago in the Bad Batch Season 1.
Who are you? Oh, great. Another clone. Just what I needed.
And also in the Bad Batch Season 2 trailer, and he does not have hair like this, so this is not Rex. I don't know who he is, but he's definitely not Rex. And I think, if I remember correctly, he is wearing the same colors of the 501st, so that's pretty bad. If he is one of the 501st and he's out on the streets, that doesn't say much for Vader, man. And how cool was it to hear Obi-Wan bring up Quinlan Voss?
Quinlan was here.
right? That was pretty damn cool. Now, everybody is speculating that O'Shea Jackson Jr. is going to come in and play Quinlan Voss in this series. It's possible. They're not saying who he's playing just quite yet, so he could, right? It'd be pretty cool. Now, I did do the audiobook for the Dark Disciple novel. I mean, it was all right. It's not like the best Star Wars book I ever read or whatever, but it was all right. And I do think that the Quinlan Voss character is pretty intriguing, and I've been kind of wanting to see him more so than like his little story arc in the Clone Wars and his little cameo that he had in The Phantom Menace. So I've been kind of wanting to see this guy in the screen and finally get fleshed out. So I think it'd be pretty cool if they actually bring him in, right? Now, when we first see Obi-Wan again, he's like working at this meat processing factory or what have you in the middle of the desert somewhere. Now, the only thing I want to know is what the hell are they getting this meat from? What is that thing? It looks like some aquatic. Now, I know in the Book of Boba Fett, we found out at one point Tatooine was a water-filled planet and what have you. But that was like a long time ago. We're talking probably like millions of years ago, maybe even billions. You know what I'm saying? So how is this fish looking like type character in the middle of a desert planet? And like, if there is, well, how is it that big, right? I mean, there's no way that there are like a lot of big ass animals on Tatooine. We got this thing, we've got the crate dragon, right? And then like the Sarlacc thing, I don't think you can eat that or what have you, but that looks like that's pretty damn huge too, right? And not to mention that Clash of the Titan monster that we had in the Book of Boba Fett too. I mean, that thing was pretty damn cool, but maybe that wasn't native to the planet. It was like came out of like Jabba's palace or something. But I mean, these animals are pretty big to be living on a desert planet. You know what I mean? Now, I gotta say, it's pretty cool to see Ewan McGregor coming back, Hayden Christensen coming back, James Earl Jones coming back to reprise his role as the voice of Darth Vader. Now, I guess they are using some kind of little bit of AI thing on his voice like they did with Mark Hamill for the Book of Boba or what have you, which, whatever you got to do, man. I mean, it didn't take me out of it. It sounded really damn cool. The lines were just so damn menacing. You know, I mean, when Reva was sitting there talking to him about the Inquisitor, he was,
The Grand Inquisitor means nothing. Kenobi is all that matters now. Is that understood?
Yes, my lord.
I have been watching you, third sister. I know what it is you seek. Prove yourself, and the position of Grand Inquisitor is yours. Fail me, and you will not live to regret it.
Vader is not messing around. And this is, it kind of fit, you know what I'm saying? And I heard somebody say something about them not playing the Imperial March when Vader was on screen. They had like some other kind of music playing on. Now, I didn't really think anything of it the first time I saw it, but when I went to go back to do my rewatch before I went to go do this video, and I actually listened to the music a little bit closer, and I'm like, actually, I think I like that music better than the Imperial March. This like fits him, because the Imperial March is for the Empire as a whole, right? This music seemed like this was more tailored for him. Maybe it's just me. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. I mean, again, this series is just so damn awesome, and I cannot wait to see where this thing goes next. I mean, we've already had one confrontation with Vader and Obi-Wan, and it did not fare well for Obi-Wan whatsoever. So obviously, I think if they do face off again, I think it's going to probably be either in episode 5 or 6. I don't know, man. All I can say is I like this show quite a bit. I can't say I can actually pick one episode over the other like some people out there right now. I mean, I'm trying to look at this as like one whole story, because originally this was supposed to be a movie, right? Because it was going to be a movie up until like when Solo came out, and it did not perform the way Lucasfilm and Disney wanted. And after that, this got put a little bit on the back burner, and then next thing you know, there was rumors floating around it was going to turn into a series, especially when Disney Plus came around, and here we are, right? So can't wait to see where they take the story next. And I'm pretty sure I missed a whole bunch of stuff, like trying to cram all 3 episodes into one video, you know, so which I do highly apologize for that. I will do better for episode 4. I'll have that more focused on just that episode, but I wanted to talk about all 3 episodes, so I know I'm going to miss a whole bunch of stuff that happened within it, because it was just cool as far as I'm concerned. I have pretty much almost no complaints other than the runtime for each episode. That's like my own complaint through this whole entire thing so far. So, did you watch the first 3 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi over on Disney Plus? Let me know in the comments down below. Where does this thing rank with you with all the other Star Wars Disney Plus shows we've gotten so far? Let me know in the comments down below. And how cool was it to see Vader come back and pretty much kick Obi-Wan's ass, right? Let me know in the comments down below. I mean, I can't wait to see what they do next Wednesday, right? So let me know what you think in the comments down below.